Hello and welcome to the Potential Difference Research Lab. Today we are going to be talking about the approximation of perpetual motion. When I started this research shortly after 9/11, the goal was to find a suitable energy replacement for oil, a suitable, peaceful energy replacement for oil, and the oil wars that result. And from the first demonstration, the first technology demonstration that we did at MIT in 2007, people have been speculating that the innovation that we have created is a perpetual motion machine. Of course, it's not. And I'm going to be dealing with we're going to be explaining why the technology is not a perpetual motion machine. And let's get started. So the first question is perpetual motion possible? Well, the answer to that is absolutely yes. Perpetual motion, in fact, is possible. And it's the basic building block of all matter. If we didn't have electrons, protons, neutrons, molecules, and atoms in perpetual motion, we would not have any physical matter. So yes, perpetual motion is possible, and it's the basic building block of the universe. Are perpetual motion machines possible? The answer to that question is absolutely maybe. So this description of perpetual motion is taken right off the internet. A perpetual motion machine of the first kind produces work without the input of energy. It thus violates the first law of thermodynamics, the law of conservation of energy. So, based on that statement, what we're going to demonstrate in this demo is 3 different perpetual motion machines. All of them, one of them performs positive work with no input energy. Another one performs positive work also with no input energy. And another one performs negative work without any input energy. So a perpetual motion machine of the first kind produces work without the input of energy. That's a false statement. So, because we're going to be demonstrating that it's a false statement. So, the idea of perpetual motion, and so what we're going to be demonstrating actually in this demonstration is the Regenex quantum motor, the Regenex generator, the conventional generator, which all perform work without the input of energy. And they all violate the first law of thermodynamics and the law of conservation of energy. The Regenex quantum motor, which you're going to see first, performs positive work, system kinetic energy increase, acceleration without the input of any external energy. The Regenex generator, on the other hand, performs positive work, rotational kinetic energy increase, system acceleration, and electricity generation, where the energy is going to be stored in a battery, and the battery is in the back there. And the conventional generator, which performs negative work, kinetic energy reduction with zero externally supplied energy. Now, the work energy principle says that positive work and negative work both require energy, and you can't have negative work without an energy source. So this video is going to be sent to Dan Frey, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering and Engineering Systems at MIT, because he talks about perpetual motion. Perpetual motion, and this is essentially his quote, perpetual motion can be produced only by engineering a solution by which an object in motion can consume some store of energy or gather energy from an external source. Can we approximate perpetual motion? So what you're going to see in this video is the Regenex quantum motor, the Regenex generator, and the conventional generator, which all consume energy that is created from an internal energy source. So we don't gather stored energy. We don't require external energy, because the energy that is required to perform the positive work in the Regenex quantum motor and the Regenex generator, and the negative work in the conventional generator, is internally created energy. So the first part of the demo is to establish rotational equilibrium. And at rotational equilibrium, the net torque in the generator or motor's drive shaft must be zero. And if the net torque is zero, then the system will not be able to acquire any angular acceleration. That means the kinetic energy of the system will not be able to increase. So establishing rotational equilibrium is the first important step. And with a normal motor, you cannot increase the kinetic energy of the system without increasing the input to the motor. And we're going to demonstrate with the Regenex quantum motor that in fact you can increase the angular acceleration and increase the rotational kinetic energy of the system by approximately 362 joules with zero supplied external energy. And then we're going to demonstrate the Regenex generator, which also produces angular acceleration. It increases the rotational kinetic energy of the system by about 125 joules, but there is zero externally supplied energy to the system. And the electrical energy generated and stored in the battery is approximately 120 watts. And then step 3, we're going to demonstrate the step 3 continued. The external supply energy to the Regenex generator is 0 watts. And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the conventional generator, which is essentially the Regenex generator that is operated at a reduced frequency. So when the Regenex generator is operated at a reduced frequency, the energy that's created at the subatomic level produces angular deceleration, and it produces rotational kinetic energy reduction. The electrical energy stored in the battery is approximately 0, and what happens is the energy that's created in the conventional generator, which is the same energy in the Regenex generator, will stall the system. It will completely stall the system. And so the Regenex quantum motor will perform positive work with 0 externally supplied energy at infinite efficiency. The Regenex generator will also perform positive work. It will increase the speed of the system, and it will also be operating at infinite efficiency. And the conventional generator will perform negative work with created energy, and its performance of negative work is also at infinite efficiency. So what is the energy source required to perform positive work, angular acceleration, kinetic energy increase in the Regenex quantum motor, 362 joules, and positive work in the Regenex generator, 125 joules? The energy required is subatomic electron energy. This subatomic electron energy is created at the electron level, and it's externalized around a current-bearing wire when an electromotive force is applied to that wire. So we're going to talk about that briefly at the end of this video. So, and the difference between the Regenex generator, which performs negative work, and the Regenex generator, which performs positive work, is the frequency of operation. So the first step is to bring the system up to rotational equilibrium. System is at rotational equilibrium. Our motor is consuming 576 watts. consumption by our drive motor has gone down to 365 watts. Once again, the only way to increase the speed of this system is to increase the input to the induction motor prime mover. This number has to go up in order for the speed of the system to increase. And what we're going to do with the RegenX quantum motor is we're going to increase the speed of the system while this number goes down. Energy that is created at the subatomic electron level in order to perform positive work and increase the kinetic energy of our system. So now we're going to put it back into rotational equilibrium again. Generator on load, and we are going to increase the kinetic energy of the system with subatomic electron energy, and we're also going to recharge the battery. This is our battery voltage, and right beside it is the current that we'll be delivering to the battery. Once again, the system is at rotational equilibrium. The torque that's supplied to the RegenX generator by the prime mover is 0, and we are going to increase the speed of the system, generate electricity without any additionally supplied external input power. That means that the 562 watts going to the prime mover is not going to increase. So to recap, the RegenX quantum motor performed positive work, angular acceleration increase, rotational kinetic energy increase, and it required 0 externally supplied power. The RegenX generator also performed angular acceleration increase. The rotational kinetic energy of the system also increased. The electric energy that was generated and stored into the battery was almost 120 watts. The conventional generator completely stalled the system, meaning that the frequency of operation for the RegenX coil was lowered to the point where the electromagnetic field energy that was created around the coil performed negative work. And the efficiency of the positive work for the RegenX quantum motor is infinite. The RegenX generator, its efficiency at performing positive work is also infinite. And the conventional generator, its efficiency in performing negative work, reducing the kinetic energy of the system, is also infinity. And the energy source required to perform the positive work in the RegenX quantum motor and the RegenX generator, and the negative work in the RegenX generator is energy that is subatomic electron energy that is created at the subatomic level. So essentially what we have is, if we have a generator coil like this one here, and we create a closed circuit, there's no current flowing in the closed circuit. And because there's no current flowing in the circuit, there's no electromagnetic field energy being created around the current-bearing wire, no electromagnetic field energy being created around the coil, and no work being performed on the rotating magnetic field in our motor and in our generator. However, when an electromotive force or voltage is applied to the coil, current flows in the coil, and the electron energy that is created at the subatomic level is now externalized around the coil, and this electron energy, subatomic electron energy or quantum energy, performs negative work in the conventional generator. It performs negative work in all conventional generators. It performs positive work in the RegenX generator, and it performs positive work in the RegenX quantum motor. So the laws of physics, which are essentially irrevocably harmed and or damaged during the making of this video, is Newton's third law, as it applies to electric generators. Newtonian mechanics has never applied to electromechanics. And certainly in this RegenX generator and RegenX motor, Newton's third law doesn't apply because we're producing an equal and identical reaction. And the equal and identical reaction manifests itself as system acceleration, kinetic energy increase. Lenz's law is being reversed by the RegenX generator's load current time delay, and the law of conservation of energy, and